She runs a magazine called Coffee Pot, and she has an absolutely phenomenal knowledge of literature. But tonight she's going to focus on her collection called Pavilion, which is the one based on Bow Brummel, isn't it?
Brighton.
On Brighton, sorry, got mixed up there, on Brighton. So she's going to read a selection of poems from that, and then I'm sure we'll be willing to answer questions afterwards. Okay.
Thank you. I thought what I'd do is read to you for about 12 minutes or so. We could have a quick break and then I'll read again. And then if you want to ask me anything, please do. And I'll be reading basically from 3 different collections, because when I first proposed and asked to come here, I had Pavilion out, which is set in Brighton and has a lot of images of the English dandy in it. But this year I've had 2 other collections come out, Revue de Ville, which is about, a lot of it's about visual art because I work for a lot of art galleries, and Minton Dyer, Sweet Billy Gibson, which is a set of 3 portraits in poems. So I shall read you the first half, mainly from Pavilion. There's a dance going on in the dark above our heads. Men pressing women against laundered suits. A girl surprised to find her older partner dances better than boys. A woman leaves imprinted lips staining the bartender's milky cheek. Above us, the burned out pier against evening's Guinness black curtain, where feet shuffle in rhythm, a few toes getting stepped on. And maybe this close stepping's what we're made for. Hands tight against gabardine or georgette-clad backs. It may be the sea or the dancers suggestive, whispering, at last, at last, at last. Above our heads, the pier bones lost tonight, where phantoms clutch each other, only the sea, or a woman breathing to her partner before kissing him. I wish tonight would last, would last, would last. That poem's called West Pier Serenade, and I imagine the derelict West Pier in Brighton sort of haunted by its past. And when I was writing Pavilion, I tried to have as many images as I could that were taken from this idea of somewhere being haunted by what had been there before. And the cover of the book, we were very lucky, the Royal Pavilion let us use Rex Whistler's painting, which is the Prince Regent awakening the spirit of Brighton. And I suddenly thought, what if he never left the pavilion? What if he was still there in some form or another? And I actually read this in the pavilion at the tea rooms. I was resident poet there for a day because they had a day called Sussex Day. And I just got to the line about the Prince Regent's pants and I realised there was a big portrait of him behind me, and he probably wouldn't have been that delighted. Never mind. This is called Regent. Ghosting the pavilion, I'm struggling to catch your eye as you study pockmarked mirrors I knew. Shock of my flowery moon pie face, hair seeming too small and not well curled, spirit of better times, bereft of dogs, parties, mistresses. Hoping to make tourists like yourself recoil, my impressive forms refracted in 100 knives, forks, spoons, shudders in and out of compotes hefty with wax fruit, world's eyes of porcelain mandarins to no effect. Through gift shop shelves I squish, tinkling pot-bellied Christmas baubles, juddering gewgaws, rattling shrink-wrapped postcards depicting regal underdraws that can't be mine, too large, sink me too large, and think of breathing times when trifling debts were trumpeted around the house and penny sheets lampooned me, fat enough to sport those mighty underdraws. Listen. Saw phantom feet squelched into silk Chinese slippers for eternity, task your steps. I call, but nothing sounds against the empty air. Outside, exotic borders roaring with 1,000 scarlet dragon tongues. Carol was quite right. I have written a sequence of poems about the life of the Regency dandy Beau Brummell, who really revolutionised men's tailoring. And the poems are all sonnets, and the first ones have just been published in America in a magazine called the Raintown Review. And Beau Brummell had a very wealthy life, but he spent it all, gambled it all, and ended up fleeing to France as a debtor. And he actually died in the madhouse and lost everything, quite literally. And I imagine what he thought when he was in France and what he thought of looking back and thinking about the Prince Regent and his pleasures. So this is called Pavilion Interlude. Sometimes, waking before white linen day, imagined himself cushioned by rooms at Brighton. With dawn breaking, all assumed ritual sank, he knew it for Calais, turning to face lawn pillows. From cafe, Beau saw grave mandarins, slight lotus blooms, his regent's gilded dreams a distant moon, petals streaked mauve, their teacups passion play. Striving for his chrysanthemum blazoned robe, brushed until became less mildew spotted, pulled its landscape on, ran for bathwater. Boys noted how he bathed. Tub filled, drove stiff legs below pooled surface. Time floated, then he rose, felt breaking skin grow softer. Back to Pavilion, and I don't think you can write about Brighton or even think about it very much without thinking about Brown Green, who I absolutely love. And I was thinking about Brighton Rock, and I was thinking how Pinky Brown, the boy gangster, and his gang Spicer and Cubbit, longed to be the big gangster who lives in the posh hotel, Corleone. And I wrote this poem, and it was partly set now and partly set in Brown Green's Brighton, so I called it Greenland. Brighton rock facades spare evenings peeling sunburn, front sleighing grounds where Pinky, Spicer, Cubbit rent. Man ghosting a balcony, small hotel or private apartment, lost to dark's full dinner dress, echoing a brittle century. Pinky's nemesis, Corleone, imbibing night's legitimate air, gangsters' glacé eyes fix our backs, look up, only his red-tipped fag. Further on, improbable hoodlums sports a noir trilby, cars on steady light revealing gun. For sale, spots us, hands piece driverwards, stalks off, no words. Car shadows, faster we go, grateful for neon windows. Courting couples making him turn away. Just escaping Pinky's day, sour as hot breathing on the face. Quitting balcony, Corleone awaits report for hired guns. As I said, I write a lot of sonnets, and I love the form. I love the fact that in 14 lines you've got to pack so much in, and I like the rhythm of them and the fact you can do quite a lot with just punctuation, really. So I wrote 2 sonnets, and these are supposed to be 2 portraits of the same man. And I'm sure you know this, but a flaneur is somebody who wanders the city. So this first one's called Flaneur. Cagoule sheathed they rush, avoiding rain, crushing past awnings, gushing waterfalls, and there he's cloistered. Elegance calls attention, worlds washed down a drain. Dove-grey suit with silver-headed cane, exotic plant against plain Jane pub walls, and for an instant sodden summer stalls, pub front transformed to sudden picture frame. Could be imagining yellow rose, tonal handkerchief, gloss ballroom shoes. My nocturne formed of brushstrokes and regret, torch song from a vanquished hero show. He's real enough, discussing current news, blue smoke spurling from his cigarette. regular. About that linear cigarette held within porcelain fingers, the cane twirled under the other palm, he gazes pupil-shaded rivers and yet sees no one. Ballads swim with regret, misting the bar his cane wraps. Suddenly mirrors holding men he used to be, acknowledged, no better to forget. Black suit, jet tie, shirt crisp, gloss shoes, crimson socks, red handkerchief, poised listlessly, addressed as barmaids, darling. Soft lips telling familiar blues, as eyes scan walls, espresso voice, perched cane, glanced moment, stalling. As I said, I do a lot of work for art galleries and museums and have done for a few years now. And I was thinking about Toulouse-Lautrec because he's one of my favourite painters, and I've been having a conversation with somebody about what he'd be doing if he was around now, what job he'd do in arts. And I've been to Brighton and I was looking at all the club flyers, you know, those little postcard flyers that you get. And I was thinking the art on some of them is just wonderful art, and yet it's only there for that one club night and then it's gone. And I thought, actually, I think that would really appeal to him. And I also, in the poem, used the names of the dancers that he knew. So the women's names in this are all Lautrec's dancing girls, if you like. But the other names are flyer titles from club nights, and they were real ones. I went round and picked up some flyers and looked for the best names. Okay. So this is called Toulouse-Lautrec as Club Promotions Artist. Nothing transforms in clubland, true. Still, La Mum Fromage, Chateau Kao, La Goulou, my Limber Louise until the booze got at her, wouldn't be seen deceased sporting logos and dress-down nights, as we all know, disguise roues until time-tested cliches. Nice legs, when do they open? Hello babe, come here often. Same life. Trotting flyers around the bars late afternoons, promised can-can, pouting sirens, exposed skin, as I remark, little transforming. Wild fruit, born bad, it came from the sea. Club Chat Noir, gypsy, 20s swing. Prosperous blokes pilfering afternoons, wives left behind there for guilty pulls or just a look. Dadu ron ron, phobia, twist and shout. We all want to boogie until lights out, and that's what I give them, disposable, but no less art for that. And some of them will come to stare, dance, try it on. I'll be there as well, gyrating till it hurts too bloody much, swigging absinthe from new bottles, borrowing some drunk girl's boa, desirous of capturing seamy stockings, stack-heeled shoes, no replacement for my lost goulou, this one sketch stand instead of news. I'm Count Henri Toulouse-Lautrec, believe it. You look like a wicked dancer I once knew. Club flyers dye the whole scene blue. My lines unaltered, would I lie to you?